we move on now to Erichthonius, who another great story, right? Athena goes and asks the god Hephaestus for weapons. Now, Hephaestus is the smith god who works in the forge of the volcano, right? And he's lame, so he's crippled, and in mythology, this makes him sort of repugnant or repulsive. And Athena, right? Easy to get them confused. Athena visits him to ask for weaponry because she's also the goddess of war. Hephaestus is overcome with lust for her and tries to rape her. Now she's a virgin goddess, right? She's sort of sworn to this detachment from the flesh, and in her wisdom, right, is kind of above such things. So of course she's revolted by this, very fleshly being coming up at her and trying to rape her. She pushes him away, but his semen falls on her thigh. These incredibly evocative and fleshy myths, right, that come out of this. We talk a lot about Greek myth, and we think, there's the great heroes, and we're going to get to Theseus in a bit, and we tell a lot of those stories. But some of these things are really weird, man. I mean, the feverishest of fever dreams is kind of what we're up against here. But again, always expressive, right, of these kind of chthonic forces, and I use that term advisedly because the person that is going to be born out of the semen that Athena then wipes off of her thigh, right, falls on the ground, and out comes Erichthonius, who is this next king of Athens, and his name has chthon in it, the earth, right? And so this is where we get this idea, in part at least, that the Athenians are sprung from the earth of Cecropia, of Athens, right, of this place, and the land and the people belong to one another. Now, of course, this doesn't happen, right? Nobody nobody springs out of the earth or is spontaneously generated. But what are we saying here, right? We're saying effectively that this is our place, and as long back as we can remember, right, we've been here. And so you might think in some ways about, Plato's noble mythos, right, his noble lie or his noble myth, which tells about people coming out of the earth with certain metals mixed into their souls. And in some ways, that's like he was taking this myth and twisting it around to support his political regime with that, right? Because there's already this myth that exists, that Athens, that this location has been kind of the birthplace of these people. And that's going to be important, right, as we get into this transition into a government of laws and not of men, right? Because the government of men, right, I associated it earlier with tribalism, and that is basically one of the things that kind of typically governs a society, right? Is the people that are related to you, that are close to you by blood. This land has been occupied by this family for this many generations, and they have this much wealth, and so on and so forth. And so this is, I'm actually not knocking this as a human impulse. It's part of, how we naturally are. It's just that in its, raw form, in its untutored form, it gives birth to all of these injustices, of course, right? Because of all the things that I've just listed, right? All the tribalism and the cronyism and the sort of unfair distribution of wealth, right? Which we're going to get into in a sec. But this is here, right? This kind of rudiment, both of Athenian wisdom, but also earthy birth from the ground, right?